Hi, I'm Kyle Grandstaff, Portfolio Manager here at Healy Wealth Management, and today I'm joined with John Healy, our Chief Investment Officer, and today is another installment of our Market Myths and Realities. And today, here in April 2024, Bitcoin's at near all-time highs, and there's been a lot of tailwinds that have really helped Bitcoin. There's a halving event that is occurring with the supply of Bitcoin and the miners, and traditionally that has signaled an increase in the price of Bitcoin. So there's a lot of positive momentum for Bitcoin, and so where we sit today, I wanted to ask John, so why aren't we buying Bitcoin?
We're investors, not speculators. So when you're buying Bitcoin, you're not investing, you're speculating.
What do you mean by investors? Like, what's the definition of an investor?
Hey, what's the definition of an investor? A great question, and it's something I really like clients to understand this. And Bitcoin is a good illustration, really highlights what we're doing here and what we're not doing here. So Bitcoin, again, is not an investment. And let's go back to the beginning. Ben Graham, Warren Buffett's teacher and boss and mentor, wrote what Buffett has said is the best investment book ever written. It's called The Intelligent Investor. And in that book, Ben Graham defines investing and speculating. And so he defines an investment as having basically three characteristics. It involves thorough analysis, it promises safety, and it promises an adequate return. That's the definition of investing. Speculating really doesn't have any of those things, and it's focused mainly on the price. There's nothing wrong with speculating, and Graham pointed that out in the book. There's nothing immoral or wrong about it, but just have to know that when you're speculating, you're making a decision and acting on an anticipation of what the price is going to do, and that's very different.
So you're saying that Bitcoin is not an investment?
Well, we're value investors, not speculators. A lot of people talk about Bitcoin as if it were gold. It's really not. Gold is similar in that it doesn't produce anything either. Gold has historically been considered an alternative medium of exchange. Some people argue that Bitcoin could be considered a medium of exchange. The problem with it is it just doesn't compete with gold. Gold, you know what you have. It's a hard asset. It can be tested chemically. You know exactly what you have when you buy gold. And gold has been, arguably over hundreds of years, a good hedge against, keeping up with inflation. We're not buying gold either for other reasons, but definitely Bitcoin is much even further down the spectrum of not being something that has value at all, because it's really just an electron. It's a ledger on a computer. There will not be a government support for an alternative to the dollar.
So you would never buy Bitcoin at any price?
No. That sounds pretty radical, that you'd never do that. I was actually talking to a client the other day who does own Bitcoin, and there's nothing wrong with owning some Bitcoin. As Ben Graham would say, you've got to recognize that you're speculating, and you would never put all your money in it. Be aware that if you're wrong about what the market's going to do, you could lose all of your money. So you have to be willing to lose all of it quick. And you could make a lot quick too. That's part of the fun of it. But there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you have to be disciplined. Warren Buffett actually joked about this. He said, if I could buy 1% of all of the residential rental real estate, let's say, I'd write a check today for $25 billion. So he came up with a number like that, because it produces rents and profits, and so it's productive for you. The asset itself is going to give you something that's worth, in his mind, $25 billion for 1% of the residential rental real estate in the US. But if you were to offer him all of the Bitcoin, he wouldn't pay $25, basically pointing out that it's not worth anything because it's not a productive asset. We only buy productive assets, right? So I hope that's a good illustration of what we do here.
Yeah, thanks a lot, John. I think you summed it up well. And, we're happy to discuss this further. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to talk more. Thanks for joining us.